Hey y'all, we in? I think we're in. Nice. No one's in yet, but we're gonna get things started. Maybe you'll see this after the fact. Hi guys, thanks for checking it out. We are at the memorial second line for Anne Rice, and you don't need to be looking at me. Here's what's going on. So we are at the Rink. That's the building across the street, Chicory House Coffee Shop in the downstairs. And here is the carriage and the second carriage. This is kind of a callback to the way Anne Rice has done this in the past. So y'all can see her portrait there on the side. Got the name Charbonnet down at the bottom. That's a big local funeral home. She staged funeral stunts like this. Not a lot of people, you can say, practiced for their own funerals, but she's among them. Did book signings at the bookstore in the upstairs of this building. Getting out of a big carriage like this. Hey y'all, thanks for the notes. Oh, there we are. The counter of how many people are in the room went from 0 to 43, so that's good to know. We also, y'all, if you don't know the geography, we're right around the corner from, on St. Charles, the Elms Mansion, which is where the Anne Rice Vampire Ball happens every year. And it is last night that happened, and it is organized by the Vampire Lestat Fan Club, which also organized this. And they got the brass band on board, who are warming up, so once they are talking, I'm gonna stop talking. But we're expecting a pretty short route. We're gonna be proceeding over along Washington Avenue right over there by the cemetery. She is not buried in that cemetery. Today is not her funeral, today is a memorial. There's not an actual burial connected with this, but she's out in Lake Lawn Cemetery, out in Metairie, big fancy tomb. And we are gonna proceed over to her old house, one of the many houses she owned in the area, but the one where she actually lived. So there will be a 30-second moment of silently paying respects over there, and then we will double back. I'll probably be with y'all just for the front half of that, but we will see. And since we have the Vampire Ball, man, are the costumes out. Have whatever wardrobe people didn't squeeze into last night is coming out today, or whatever works better in the daylight, maybe. Oh man, we've got a Claudia. That's a choice. Yeah, what's going to give you a tip? Because we watch you. Thank you very much. Oh, you're fine. I'm not gonna be pointing at faces, so we can keep y'all comfortable and anonymous. But it's really nice of y'all to say hello. Happy you're here.
Glad to meet you.
Y'all enjoy your Halloween. Yeah. What's your name?
John and Jody.
John and Jody. Cool. Nice to meet y'all. Thanks very much. Thanks for the greetings, y'all. Please keep chiming in. Love to know who's here. We've got quite a crowd lining up, y'all. So this is the quiet side. Over on the other side of the street, it's a lot more crowded. And I guess on the chance that anybody is seeing this who is who's totally uninitiated, the vampire presence here would probably tip you off, but we're looking at the author of Interview with the Vampire, Anne Rice over there. Gives us the whole Vampires plus New Orleans goes together idea. And this is the first time that Halloween and this particular event have happened without her. Not this event, but the Vampire Ball that I mentioned that happened last night. Oh, nice. And we've got, if y'all, on the off chance you saw our Anne Rice video that we posted recently, redhead up there, works at the bookstore, gave us some amazing stories. Watch through to the end of the video and you'll see her sharing her personal memories of Anne. Lots of friends. Hey. Hey.
Thank you for your video.
Yeah, absolutely. Pleased to meet you. What's your name?
Brian.
Brian.
Brian's gay.
Yes. Hi. You've been along for this whole ride.
I tried. But no, I just want to say thank y'all. I appreciate all your videos.
Yeah, I'm happy you could be here in person. It's a big deal.
Anyway, enjoy.
Yeah, we'll be around. We won't be rolling camera the whole time. Move around a little bit. Get y'all a view of the wardrobe that people have shown up in. For reference, it is not a cool day. It is a pretty warm late October day, as it often is here, but folks are committed nonetheless. We get some get all different levels of seriousness and whimsy. Here's the cemetery that we'll be passing by. David, yes, we're not on the edge of the Garden District quite, but we are in the Garden District. So you've got your senses right. We're not by the mansions, which are usually the tell of this neighborhood, but we'll be there as the route proceeds. And anyone not familiar with the, oh my goodness. Okay. First death paint that we've gotten. Culture shock. Yes, indeed. Everyone needs their coffee. So yeah, if y'all aren't familiar with the institution of a second line, this is connected to our funerary practices, where you do a sort of mournful send-off of the person that would be familiar to folks all over the country, followed by a celebratory march behind a band. The band plays music during both parts, so we'll probably hear a little bit of dirgy music, and then we'll maybe, depending on how many of the facets of Anne's personality they're looking to include in this, we might also hear some cheerful music. Lots of different ways to do it, but typically a jazz funeral would go from sort of church to graveside to reception, or just through an area, through the neighborhood. This one is bookstore to house to bookstore. Very appropriate for the person in question. So yeah, I'm sure plenty of the folks who are in town are paying visits to her actual tomb, where her husband was buried and where their daughter was buried long since. But this is really the main event, and folks have been waiting for this, y'all. This was meant to happen. I mean, this was an idea, I'll say, after she passed away in December of last year, but people have been waiting most of a year for the chance to really get out and pay their respects, whether in Flintstones costume or otherwise. Virtual hug back at ya, Patricia. Thank you. I'm freehanding the camera, y'all. Apologies for any shakiness. I think we'll probably be getting stuff moving pretty soon, but we'll just keep sightseeing for a minute. This is one of the necessary elements of a second line, y'all, is a police escort. They have to determine the route in advance. All this feeling of spontaneity that these things have is an illusion. It is very planned. You announce the route beforehand. The cops escort you the whole way. I love the Halloween stories and the memories, y'all. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you. Well done.
Nice to see you too.
Excellent ensemble. My wigs are not nearly so well kept.
This is a brand new one for the occasion.
If ever there was one, right?
There was one, yeah.
Just live streaming it.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much. Yeah, y'all, please keep sharing the memories, the plans. Hi. Do y'all want to be on camera? Do you not want to be on camera? There we go. Proud. Thanks for saying hello. Oh, and angels. All right, I'm just going to be intrusive and make the rounds, get in people's faces. This is a second line is always a legitimate excuse to be late for something because, of course, they do incredible things to traffic. Hi, Dennis. Nice to see you. Parades and conventions, that's a funny pairing, Meridian, but you're not wrong. Crowds is the through line. Okay, and dash across. What's up?
How you doing?
Hi.
How's it going?
Doing well, doing
This
well.
is my friend Jay. Andrew is with free
What's up, y'all?
walking tours by foot. I do
It
that.
happens all the time.
Free tours by foot in New Orleans.
You did it.
I was just looking at a bunch of your videos yesterday.
Nice.
And having friends coming down and trying to pick out what tour. And I reviewed again the tourist trap so I don't get my friends in there.
For better or for worse, like that video is my epitaph at
we
this
heard
point.
we heard your episode with Rick Steves.
Oh yeah, wasn't that
You
cool?
sounded so good. I thought, boy, Rick did his homework. The right guy. The right guy.
That's really sweet of you. Thank you. We recorded 3 interviews, so there's likely going to be more stuff coming out of that.
Good.
So-
Well, somebody today was on a show talking about St. Louis 3 Cemetery. Because he was doing a special
Gotcha, okay.
Halloween. They were doing
Yeah.
a Halloween edition of Spooky Place.
That might have been my colleague Sandy. I know.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. I
Sounds
forgot
right.
we talked about cemeteries,
Yeah.
but sounds like we're getting going. Thank you. Back at ya. All right, we got some music, y'all. Let's get over there and be in the center of the action. To the question from Ottawa, it is quite warm. Jeff, what's our temperature, do you think? No, right here. Yeah, that sounds right. Mid-70s. So it is an added level of dedication for people to be in all of this black. All right, I'm gonna be quiet so y'all can enjoy this. in. Dash around, y'all. To Rick, yes, this is the cemetery that's been closed for a few years, and today is no different. But got All Saints Day in a couple days, so they may open then.
St. James?
give y'all a second to see the kind of crowd that turns out for this. My goodness. The art. Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. We'll catch up with the main event, y'all, but goodness. And this is at 1:30 in the afternoon. Imagine if everybody was awake by now. To some questions that have been asked, y'all. I do not know the band. They were booked in all the publicity that I saw as just an all-female brass band, so we'll see if we can't figure that out in the course of our time. And just, of course, really, and this is a day of history, so we need to be here. All right, y'all get the idea. The place is jumping. We'll try to catch up with the front. Shall we? Yeah, morning crowd, both for New Orleans and maybe also for vampires. In some of the publicity for this thing, they've interviewed some of the organizers, and that's some of the folks we saw at the front in heavy bonnets and veils, and they were very aware of the irony of a vampire-themed second line in broad daylight.
No, it's on second. They're
gonna bring us by there?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm curious if we're gonna hear him cut loose. So far, just the percussion alone, which is all I can hear from here, is telling me we are still downbeat right now.
Hi. Oh, good to see you. I saw you at the art event.
Everybody coming out.
Did you see her reaction? Please, it's taking them away. Still have 50.
Oh yeah, no, there's always going to be more land in the United States. We're going to go into that, but only land in the place where
Thanks y'all for the kind words and also for the patience as I rumble my way along these rocky New Orleans sidewalks. Whatever bits of jostling y'all might be seeing, just trust that it is very true to the experience of riding a bike anywhere in this city. band. This is just a closer walk with V. That's how these start a lot of the time. This is where we turn. Her house, former house, is a block to the right. We're turning from Coliseum onto First. And y'all can see that rust-colored house a little off in the distance. That is the one. Red parasol lady is the best. Yes, y'all, we do expect this to still be around after the fact. All the music we've been getting is standards. Live music generally isn't a problem. And we've been walking along some very smooth sidewalks that would not be at all nostalgic for those of you who remember struggling not to trip and fall out here. But rest assured, we will find another one that'll be nice and dangerous, and I'll record my shoes for a minute. Tell you what, y'all, since things are moving very quickly, get a little bit more of the crowd, some of that people watching y'all have been enjoying, and then I'll run around and catch them at the end point, and we can watch things conclude. It's pretty astonishing this all having happened on time. Oh my God, yes!
But I don't think she lived here.
So y'all who didn't hear it at the beginning, the plan was to take a 30-second moment of silence by Anne's old house, and she owned houses across a lot of uptown, but that was the one where she and her family actually lived, the place where we paused just a moment ago at Chestnut and First. And now everyone's just heading back to the place where we began, the Garden District Bookshop, the rink, Lafayette Cemetery number 1, so we'll wrap things up there in really no time flat. Honestly, this is how most people experience the second line. You're walking so far behind the band that you're not even necessarily aware a band is there, although there are certainly louder brass bands than the one that is on board today. Oh my God, yes.
I didn't want to do it.
Good luck to them. Oh yeah, it's just built and built.
We're number one. You're number one.
I will say, y'all, second lines and jazz funerals come in a lot of flavors. Yeah, there is certainly much more physically vigorous ones than this. Cut across, rush ahead to where things are about to finish. All right, y'all, it's just us for a minute. Get around to where things are gonna finish. Nice of y'all to ask the favorite costume. I just love seeing that people have put in the time. whether it's a recognizable Halloween thing or not. I'm not a great person at recognizing references, so just straight up pageantry tends to be a little more my speed. It's been hard to park for that party. Here's those streets and sidewalks y'all been missing. Look at that. Let me show you some sidewalk. This is right outside of John Goodman's house. So nepotism doesn't even help. Look at that. But who can say no to a live oak tree? Now we'll look up from the road and get y'all a house view. This is best case scenario. You come to the Garden District wanting to be able to look up at houses all the time, but then ending up having to look down so you don't trip. Best of all worlds here. Vampires don't sweat. What you talking about? Okay, so just a little over to the left, about to turn left back onto Prytania. We will see the spot where things are going to finish up. I'm always too buzzed to appreciate the grand tour. Oh, that does not sum up every visit to New Orleans. Pretty sure they used that house in shooting one of the new TV shows. So if y'all are watching Interview with the Vampire or Witching Hour when it comes out in January, that's something I think you'll see. Yes, incredibly opulent houses, really messed up sidewalks. You're right, that is the recipe. Notably, too, the really opulent houses were mostly built in the neighborhood of 150 to 200 years ago, so that factors in. See, y'all, if you're not reading the chat, someone got to meet John Goodman during a tour. He is a sweetheart, and I don't want to speak for him or make any promises that he would resent having to keep, but he's much nicer about putting in an appearance than a lot of our celebrity guests. The skull that was in front of that house back there, they had this, so that's a house owned by the Women's Opera Guild, and they put on a big Halloween event. So that was their big set piece. That plus opera singing. I think the opera singing was the real highlight for me walking by. Meridian, I haven't actually watched the new shows yet. Don't tell anybody. So I don't know how they're doing, but they look really pretty. They have shot the area to great advantage. All right, I hear the band up ahead. Here we are back within view of the rink. All right, make that hiatus worth your trouble. Gonna get right up in it.
Bronze band, bronze band. Yeah, we love that. Yeah, bronze band.
All right, y'all.
They're called the Bras Band.
The Bras Band. Ah, you get it, guys? Get it? Y'all, that is what a sign-off looks like. So we're gonna call it quits there. Thanks so much for checking this out with us and being a part of this day in history. See you around.